we are in Laurier Woods, which is located right in the city of North Bay, which is in northern Ontario. And Laurier Woods is located in between Lake Nipissing, a large lake, and Trout Lake, another large lake. The area in between has been used by people and animals to migrate back and forth over thousands of years. It's becoming more industrialized, and the people of North Bay recognized that and decided to purchase land as it became available and establish this park. So unlike other parks that might be established as a result of people pressuring governments to protect these areas, this park was established by people of North Bay actually putting the money where the mouth is and purchasing land to accumulate this park over time. We have about 120 bird species that migrate here every spring, and about 15 bird species that live here all year round. And we allow people to use this park, and therefore we have a responsibility of maintaining the park to a certain standard to let people use it. So we have people that walk their dogs, walk their families, people recovering from sicknesses walking through here, people just enjoying nature in the center of the city, and the bird watchers come in through, and as I mentioned, 120 different bird species go through here. And parks are not just green areas, they also provide ecological services that reduce the cost to the citizens of North Bay. Every year we have thousands or millions of gallons of water going through from rainstorms and snow melt events, and the water melts or flows into these wetlands and are held there for a length of time and then slowly released back into the streams and creeks that flow into the two large lakes. Rather than the city having to build up infrastructure to store the storm water. So that's just one of the ecological functions of this wetland here. This area also has quite a diverse set of habitats. So it has wetlands, it has rocky outcrops, it has forested land, and this diverse set of different habitats provide habitat for a number of different species. We have about 6 deer that live here almost all year round. We have a family of fox. We have turtles in these ponds over here, snapping turtles, painted turtles, and landing turtles. So let's go into the park and take a look at some of the different features in the park. One of the groups of people that use Laurier Woods are bird watchers. So every month we have an observation sheet over here, and people that see birds passing through mark them out. So in the month of May we got over 120 bird species that have already shown up in the park. Okay, we have about 8 kilometers of trails in Laurier Woods, and these trails were all built and maintained by volunteers. Here we have a section of Broad Walk that was built by one of the high schools in North Bay a few years ago, and again, people donated materials and put it together as volunteers. We're in the dipping pond in Laurier Woods. This is the main pond here, and we have grade 4 and 5 students coming in here every year to do part of their science classes in here, where they can pick up organisms in the lake and study them. The main pond here is constructed by beavers, who have now moved further away from here. And beavers usually travel about 90 meters from the water to cut trees down and pull them in for food. And over time they'll be clearing off the area that has the trees of high value for them. So those are things like poplar and birch. And then they'll move away from here to become a beaver meadow. Following that, it dries out, more trees grow in here, forest fires go through the area, not in the city though, but in nature, and poplars and birches will grow back in here and the beavers move back in. So that's the kind of cycle, about a 10 to 25 year cycle for beaver ponds and dams. One of the reasons we wanted to protect Laurier Woods is that it was very little of it was actually cleared for settlement. This is the only settlement that was in Laurier Woods. It was used in the 1930s, and then the family that lived here moved back into the city during the Second World War, and when they came back they moved away from it completely. So this is the only area here that was cleared for human settlement in Laurier Woods. This observation deck here was paid for and built by volunteers, and you can see part of the trails through here too. These trails are all maintained by volunteers, as I said before, and there's wood chips on these trails. Our volunteers deposit these wood chips with wheelbarrows all around the woods here. Did you know that trees have many lives? Obviously, once when they're alive, they're capturing sunlight and the energy from the sun, converting it into carbohydrates, growing. But also, when they die, these trees here that are dead provide habitat for different wildlife. About 15% of the various species that live in this part of the world use these standing dead trees at some point in their life cycle. You can see the cavities on those trees over there that have been used by woodpeckers that feed on them. They've got cavities that they roost and nest in them. And other birds move in there too. For example, owls don't build nests. They'll use the cavities made by these primary cavity makers to build a nest, or else they'll use stick nests, like there's one up in this particular white pine tree over here as a nest as well. And once trees fall over, there's another set of life forms that use them too. So about another 15% of whatever species live here use fallen dead trees that are lying on the ground and slowly decompose back into the soil, and part of it becomes the organic matter that's in the soil that will retain moisture.